Mm-hmm.
who is paying the bill.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
Now, if you did not listen to last episode, Mr. M is married with 3 kids of his own, and they were
Yeah.
having an affair for quite some time. So, yes, this is seemingly their first child together, and he's paying the bill.
Okay.
And there it is. Okay. He's paying the bill since the baby is born, and she said she talks with him each night. And he had attempted to influence her to keep the child, but that she had remained adamant in her decision. Now, I'm not sure of this. Again,
Well, of course. Yeah.
25-year-old me is like, okay, he's got 3 kids and, his, I guess what we now would call, I hate to put it this way, but side piece. Or
that's
person.
one way to put it.
Yeah. I guess
it sounds like it's more than a
terms.
piece because it was going on for 5 years.
It's been going on for a long time
before this. So there's something going on that's
right.
more meaningful.
But there are some other contradictions to this narrative as I go on. But the client seems to have some very definite ideas relative to a child having 2 parents. And being raised in a Catholic home. She feels that this solution will be far fairer to the child, and that if someday, if she and Mr. M will be able to get married, they can have more children. Now, here's something going back 2 episodes ago where she basically said, she didn't think this relationship was going to continue.
Sure.
That she would get a new job and meet someone else. Yeah, she said that. So I kind of go, what is happening with this story? All right. At any rate, this client appears not about to change her mind, even in the face of the fact that she has given birth to a most beautiful and appealing little baby girl.
Okay.
I believe that I should also add, in exploring her reason for reaching this decision, I ask if having a child out of wedlock would be a source of humiliation to her parents and family. She said she presumed they would be embarrassed by it, but they themselves would attempt to influence her to keep the child, and that it was her personal decision that the best welfare of the child and herself lie in the decision which she has made and which she intends to keep. So I'm reading this going, she is super sure that this is what she wants. She does not want to keep this child. Okay. Then we have another date of the 10th of 1966, May the 10th, 1966. They did not white out the entire date. Okay. Interesting. Miss R and I met again today to discuss the progress, which she and the baby have made in the hospital up to today.
Now, wait, what was the birth date?
The birth date would have been May 3rd.
Okay.
So this is a week. Days. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we're checking in on the progress that they've made in the hospital. Okay. Which is the time, and up to today, which is the time of discharge for both.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the day. She has seen the child for the last time and remains quite serene. The surrender papers were explained to her in their entirety, and together we read them prior to her signing them in the presence of a witness. Throughout the entire hour, she remained very calm and composed. She signed her name to the paper without hesitation or any tremor. She was quite appreciative of the service which had been given to her and stated very simply but directly that she knew that the child was in good hands and that she had made the right decision. I assured her that we would certainly want to make the best placement possible for this child or any child, inasmuch.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know. If you're confused, go back to our prior episode.
Yeah, we just became obsessed with this word. Inasmuch.
As we too held a great responsibility in what occurred to a child in its growing up years. And then there's a note that says, see permanent surrender papers that are attached, which I do have, and medical papers on the child, which I have.
Wow.
The unnamed baby girl was brought back to certain city and placed in the Dean Keller foster home, which was in that same city.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that entry. However,
drum roll, please.
Dun, 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 dun.
Or dun dun dun.
Somehow I want to go da, 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 the Star Wars. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. The next entry after that is December 6th, 1973.
Huh. Wonder whose birthday that is close to.
It is very close to someone's. So it says, Mrs. So-and-so interviewed Miss R and took the surrender on the infant girl born on the 1st of that month in 1973.
Hey.
Which is
Wow.
the day I was born.
Okay. So is there anything more after that? Okay.
Just a little.
Okay.
This was the only interview this woman had with the client because the latter, or the client, Miss R, came to the hospital for delivery. And then it just says, see record for content with this client a few years ago.
Okay.
Infant girl so-and-so, or infant girl R, was discharged from the city hospital and placed in a foster home.
Okay.
And then on the 14th of that month, from the 6th to the 14th, infant girl R was moved from the foster home and placed with Mr. and Mrs. B, the adoptive parents.
Oh, so you weren't you.
So that's me.
So you weren't in foster care for very long.
No.
That's great. Yeah.
And that date, the 14th of December, is significant.
Oh, December. I thought you were, never mind. I thought it was May.
Oh, no. So the first infant that was born in May, that infant was already placed in a foster home, but they don't talk about the actual placement of that child. The next entry into the file is about me.
Yeah, no,
It's
I got
very little. So so I'm December. I'm the
born in December.
right
But then when were you placed in the adoptive home?
in December.
Okay.
2 weeks later.
Okay.
And the significance of December 14th would be, I guess, significant. I just said significant twice in one sentence, but that date, December 14th, is something I'll talk about later, I guess. But it says placed with my parents and gives their names, and that the next month or two, it can't read the month, but it gives a day and the year, which would be the following year in 74. Adoption finalized in my county's probate court, and the
Sure.
case is closed.
Yeah.
So there's really so much still. But that was what we had to go on at that point in time was, okay, here's this woman who is going to this place to give birth to this child, and the father is not necessarily someone she's going to end up with. At least we don't think so.
And how many years later we have another child and presumably same father, because there's no update.
There's no update. It's she's back. She gives birth. It's I guess.
Yeah.
Me. I am placed in foster care and adopted basically right away.
Pretty
it was
quickly.
kind of like, wow. So
good.
There's no narrative. So in my
There's no narrative because the other social worker left for Hollywood. She became a screenwriter.
Oh my gosh. Who do you think it is? Jackie Collins?
No, much like kinder and more descriptive, more like Little House on the Prairie for wayward women.
Do you think?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Would Jackie Collins use language like in as much?
No, that's where it just seems it's just charming in its own way.
Yeah, there's just so much.
I digress as usual.
That's okay.
But really, the next social worker was like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to rubber stamp this, put in the bare bone facts, and
right. And that was to a 25-year-old me, like, wow, I totally got shafted or something.
Right. Like give me
where's
more.
My story?
Right. What was she wearing?
Yeah. Where's the description? Where's the blue robe and slippers here? Right. What is happening with the father? It was almost like, okay, she had an account at this hospital.
Oh God. And
went back and just did the same thing because nothing's changed. But from 1966 to 73, that's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time.
And it will turn out, because I do know the rest, or I know a lot more, but it will turn out that there are more details and more to this story than is disclosed in this file. But the initial reading of this, I went, what?
I can't imagine, just reading through that as a 25-year-old. I would have been on the phone with a couple of friends within minutes going, what do you think this means?
And I was, these were the days when I was trying to make up quirky answering machine outgoing messages to people. And I just kind of went, okay, stop doing stuff like that and concentrate on what you need to know or what you wanted to know. And, and there's so much more to this, but this was the bare bones of what I received in the mail for that $100.
Yeah. Well, you got your money's worth, I think, compared to, again, what I got. But there were certain the shared similarities between what you got and what I got was sort of the mother's narrative.
Yeah.
And a little bit of magical thinking, delusionary thinking, contradiction that I think happens. They're in a situation where it's an impossible situation in so many ways. So I don't know. It just, they are probably thinking out loud as they're talking to these counselors and then realizing, I've just totally contradicted myself.
Right. Well,
maybe I don't know what I want,
Yeah. It's also the whole thing of, do I tell my doctor everything?
Or do I spin a story so we can just get through this?
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So I kind of understand where there might be some discrepancies, and later we would find out there would be quite a few, and there's some holes in the story.
Sure.
And some, I guess, choose your own adventure. It's not really choose, but there are some side paths that are going to happen. And once things are found out, I just go, wow, why didn't we know this so long ago? But
Well, yeah.
I'm very grateful that I got as much as I did.